I want to tell you about a partner location we built in Minnesota. No experience in home services, no existing client base, no subcontractor relationships, starting from zero in a market neither of us had ever operated in before. We got to $10,000 a month in 60 days, not 90, 60. And by month 5, we were at $30K a month in revenue. But I'm not making this video to impress you with those numbers. I'm making it because the way we got there was messier, more uncomfortable, and more instructive than any highlight reel would suggest. And I think the honest version of this story is more useful to you than the clean one. So that is what you are getting today. Every number, every decision, every mistake, and exactly what actually drove the growth. Let's get straight into it. See, Eric was one of the first clients we brought into what we now call the partner model, the heavily done with you version, where we are actually in the business alongside you, not just handing you a course and wishing you luck. He was already running another business at the time, a staffing company, so he was not someone sitting around with nothing going on. He was a busy person who wanted to add a cash flowing asset to what he already had without it taking over his life. This is actually the profile that we work with a lot. People who have something going, who are not desperate, but who are smart enough to recognize that a well-built home service business in the right market is one of the cleanest ways to generate real recurring income with a relatively low time commitment once the systems are in place. The market we chose for Eric was his home market, and we chose it because when we ran it through our market analysis, it checked every box. The lead cost was favorable, the total addressable market was big enough to scale into, and the service type that we were running made sense for that area. And there was enough sub-availability that we were not going to get strangled on the staffing side early. That market selection piece matters more than most people realize. And Eric's results started with getting that right before we ever spent $1 on advertising. We launched the business and the ads started working immediately. And I want to be really honest about what that looked like in practice, because this is the part of the story that most people skip over. The leads were coming in faster than we were ready for. We were scheduling jobs that we could not fully staff. We had to do partial refunds on some of them. We hired cleaners, realized they were not the right fit and had to let them go fast, then hired again, then let go again. It was rapid fire mode on the staffing side for weeks. That is not the version of this story that makes a good Instagram post, but it is the version that is true. And the reason I'm telling you this is because if you are someone who thinks that hitting 10K a month in 60 days means everything went smoothly, you're going to be blindsided when reality shows up for you. What kept us moving was a simple mantra I've always operated by. Say yes and figure it out later. Because the alternative, slowing down, getting small, saying we're not ready for this yet, would have killed the momentum at exactly the moment when the ads were working. You make hay when the sun shines. So we kept our foot down, we took care of our customers as best as we possibly could, and we moved through the chaos instead of stopping in front of it. By month 2, we were at $10,000 a month, and by month 5, $30,000. So what was actually working? Because it was not magic and it was not luck. The first thing was lead generation. The ads were set up correctly for that market, and they were finding the right people at a cost that made sense. That is the foundation. If your lead gen is not working, nothing else really matters. You cannot outwork bad lead flow. The second thing was that we said yes to volume even when we were not fully ready. That sounds reckless, but it is actually just how real businesses grow. You do not get a perfect ramp up where everything is in place before the demand arrives. Demand shows up on its own timeline, and your job is to meet it. Every time we took on a job we were not 100% sure we could fulfill perfectly, we treated it as a problem to solve rather than a reason to say no. And the vast majority of the time, we solved it. The third thing was client retention from the very beginning. Even in the chaos of hiring and firing service providers and dealing with early growing pains, we stayed close to our customers. We communicated, we addressed problems fast. We made people feel like they were dealing with a real company that actually cared, because they were. And that reputation, even in the early months, is what started generating referrals before the business was anywhere close to mature. Reviews, referrals, recurring. Those 3 things are what a home service business lives and dies on. And we were building all 3 from month 1. Even when the operation was still messy behind the scenes. By around month 7, the business was profitable, not just revenue positive, actually netting over $10,000 a month in profit. And then something happened that neither of us expected at the timeline it did. A competitor in that market reached out wanting to buy the business. Not the client specifically, not some piece of it, the whole thing. The reviews, the reputation, the existing client base, the systems. They offered us $100,000 in cash. The business had been running for 8 months. Eric and I talked it through. He was running his staffing company. Things were going well there. And the $100,000 represented a clean exit at a moment when the timing was right for him. On top of that, he'd been pulling profit out of the business every month for months. So all in, when you add the sale price plus the operating profit he had taken over the life of the business, he was close to 125 to 130K total in under 10 months on a business that started from zero. That is roughly a 5x return on his investment in under a year. And he got to walk away with enough capital to pour back into his staffing company, which was already taking off. I want to be clear about what made that exit possible, because it was not just the revenue numbers. It was the fact that the business had systems, it had reviews, it had recurring clients, it had a reputation in that market. A buyer does not pay $100,000 for revenue alone. They pay for a business that will keep running after they take the keys. And that's exactly what we had built. So why am I telling you this? Not to sell you on a specific dollar amount or timeline. Every market is different. Every person is different. Eric's situation, his market, his existing business background, those are all specific to him. I'm not promising you 30K a month in 5 months, and I'm not promising you a 100K exit in 10. What I'm showing you is what the model looks like when it's executed correctly in a real market with real numbers and real problems along the way. No curated version, no filtered highlight reel. The objection I hear more than any other is some version of this might work for you or for people in your program, but it probably would not work for someone like me. I have never done this before. I do not have experience in home services. I do not have connections in the industry. I do not know how to find cleaners or run ads or build a client base from scratch. Eric did not have any of that either. What he had was the right partner, the right market, and the willingness to say yes and figure it out as he went. That is the only thing that was different. As a matter of fact, the only thing Eric had that might make him unique was that he didn't need to be babysat in order to make progress or follow instructions. You see, the partner program is built in a way so that we give you all of the tools and resources that you'll need and hold your hand in the execution of them. But at the end of the day, the people who will thrive are always going to be the self-starters and the individuals who just have a higher sense of agency. So if you're watching this video and you're somebody who knows that they have what it takes, maybe you lack the industry experience, maybe you lack the entrepreneurial experience, but you're somebody that can take direction, apply it, and put real time and effort into growing a business that might replace your income or generate you a 6-figure exit, then you can replicate exactly what Eric and others have done before him. You see, the model actually does the heavy lifting. It really just needs someone to steer it and put the right time and intention and self-efficacy towards it. That's it. And that is the full Eric story. 0 to 10K in 60 days, 30K by month 5, $100,000 exit at month 10, all from starting in a market we had never touched before. If you've been on the fence about whether this model is real, whether it can work for someone who does not already have a business background in home services, I hope this gives you a cleaner picture than anything else you have seen from me so far. The link to the partner program is in the description of this video. We guarantee your first client within 90 days, or we keep working with you one-on-one until it happens. That guarantee has never and likely will never trigger. Next video, I'm getting into a comparison that I think a lot of people who watch this channel actually need to see. Home services against every other business model people are seriously considering in 2026. Side by side, no spin, just the actual numbers and trade-offs. If you've ever looked at e-commerce, SMMA, content creation, real estate, or any of the other things you see online and wondered how they actually stack up against this, that is the next video. I'll see you there.